Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. This is going to be a very special episode where we get to announce the winners for the two pieces we made a couple of weeks ago. This one we made to help celebrate the channel reaching 50,000 subscribers, and this one for our third birthday. Now if you've seen one of these giveaways before, the format is going to be slightly different. In the past I've just waffled on for a few minutes and then announced the winners. Today we're going to take a look around the workshop. We're going to do a full workshop tour and we're going to answer a few questions as well that have been sent in by viewers. Right, so if you're sitting comfortably, we shall begin. First questions are of a personal nature. First of all, how old are you? I am 56. Secondly, what do you do for employment? I am a university lecturer. I have been teaching computer game design at a local university for the last 23 years. Before that, I was in the computer games industry. Okay, that's the first set of questions. So we'll take a look at this side of the workshop. So if you've seen the videos from the channel before, this will be the most common view that you will recognize. Around the lathe, we've got hanging mounts for the camera. This is the one that films straight down the piece. We have two more behind the camera. This one swings to the side there when the piece is on the lathe and moves over a bit and angles down when I'm filming the ending or anything I'm preparing on the surface here. This one behind can cover various different angles, but is primarily seen towards the end of the video when the tailstocks come away, and that gets some nice close-ups of the bowl from this side. And you'll also notice these things hanging down. These are small HDMI leads that go into the back of the iPhones I use for these, and this displays a picture from these screens up onto the two monitors high up there. The reason I do that is because the screen that shows the image of where the camera is pointing is facing the wall, and I used to have to try and climb all the way around to look at the picture to make sure the shot was correct. Now I've got these monitors set up, I can pretty much ensure that I get the shot right every single time. It doesn't mean I don't make mistakes, because I still do, but it helps cut them down. I do have another tripod which goes to the back. The other camera is currently on that one, and that gets some nice shots from the back as it's being turned and whatever else is going on. So moving on from the lathe, I have the cupboard which you usually see as being closed, and in here is a complete mess. This is the reason why you usually see it closed. This is where I shove all my finishing material for the projects I need to work on. I don't generally throw anything away, so I've got waxes and polishes and oils in there from that have been sat in there for years and years. This little box at the top, that has all my sanding equipment in. So when I say I'm going to set up for sanding, I grab this down, grab my face mask, put it on the bench over there, which you'll see in a second, and we start sanding. Right. Onto the tool wall. Okay, we've got another set of questions. What is the backstory on Hooch? Hooch is this little guy. He was being thrown away by one of my children, and I didn't have the heart to see him go, so I put a couple of magnets on his feet and stuck him there, and he's been there ever since. I never intended him really to become a main feature of the show. He was just basically there to keep me company. But so many people kept on commenting on him and asking for his name that we put it up to a public vote, and they decided he should be called Hooch. So we've got Turner and Hooch, just in case you didn't get it. Next question, snog, marry, kill, sanding, turning or finishing? Well, that's easy. Sanding is kill, turning is marry, and finishing is snog. Okay, it's hard to get the whole tool wall into one shot, so I've got my little camera as well just to go through what we've got here. First row is all bowl gouges, spindle gouges, and the one current carbide that Record Power make. And then we've got chisels, calipers and tools for removing and looking after the lathe. Underneath that, pens, pencils, strange things, metal, wire brushes, hole punches, all that kind of thing. Everything that I don't want laying around or necessarily is hard to find, I just put in there. Also safety glasses as well. Underneath that, we've got a set of tailstock and headstock MT2 fittings, torque screws, screwdrivers, and then Towards the bottom on this side we've got some Japanese saws, a smaller tool rest. This wall is currently in midst of me moving things around and printing things out to help store some of this stuff better. It will evolve and it will change over time. Underneath the gouges we have a range of skews and a few carbides, and then further down at the bottom we've got the big heavy industrial scrapers, gougers and carbides as well. Okay, over to this side. Okay, opposite the lathe we have the other two major pieces of heavy machinery that I use on a regular basis. We have the larger record power pillar drill. This is absolute beast. It's got a 5/8 inch chuck, very, very powerful motor, and it'll get through everything I've tried so far. It is a little bit high in that position, so it's sat on one of the flexi spot desks. So if I press number 2, it will automatically lower it down to the correct height for drilling. When I'm done with it, it'll send it back up, and then I can use it as a feed table for the bandsaw. Right, we have some more questions. Right, first question, when did you start turning and who has been your greatest influence? I started turning just over 4 years ago when my wife bought me a lathe for our anniversary present. I'd mentioned to her quite a few times that I would love to have a go at turning. I hadn't turned before, or had turned before, but not since I was doing it at O level when I was back at school. She surprised me with this big box, which was a lathe, and that was the lathe I actually started this channel with just over 3 years ago. In terms of influences, Phil Anderson was one of the key ones who taught me that not everything has to be a standard shape. He's been a fantastic influence and I love all of his work. There has been quite a few others. There's a site on YouTube called Worth the Effort, and that's probably where I learnt my key skills from. I think it's Sean, the gentleman who runs that site, and he is a very, very good teacher, and that's where I picked up all my basic skills. If you remember the video I made a little while ago using the McNaughton system, hollowing system, and I said halfway through, right, I've got to go and watch the video again. It was Sean's video that I watched to try and figure out how to use that tool. Right, bandsaw. Okay, this is the Record Power Sabre 300 bandsaw. I have a range of different size blades for it, and it has been absolutely fantastic. I have yet to find a piece of wood that this thing can't cut. One of the great things about the Sabre bandsaws is that it has 2 outlet ports for dust to escape the machine, which I have going into the Record Power CamVac system behind it. And to operate this, I just press this little remote button here. That way I can ensure that the internal workings of this machine are kept clean, and the dust in the atmosphere is kept down to an absolute minimum. The only downside for this machine is that now I'm used to it and absolutely love it, I want a bigger one. They do 2 larger sizes than this. This has done my needs very well for the last year and a half, but I'm starting to hanker after getting another one, a much bigger one. Right, move on to this side. Okay, on here we've got 2 machines. I have my linisher, which I use to buff up pieces when they're all done, and my sharpening system. They're both Record Power machines, and the sharpening system was made by ProGrind. There's always a link to these in the description below every video, just in case you want to check out what I'm using. Underneath this I have the Crytek 6-foot tool cabinet, which again I think I got about a year ago, and this is where I store all my junk. Now I am going to let you look in the drawers, but I apologise for their lack of order. So we'll start on this side. First drawer is all the extra accoutrements and tools for the ProGrind system. Underneath that I have a selection of hammers and wire brushes and the odd tape measure. Underneath that I have 1 or 2 spanners, pliers, all the usual things. Underneath that, these bottom 2 drawers are all attachments for the lathe. So chucks, tool rests, face plates, everything like that. Again, they really need sorting out. This side, top drawer, I have long things. So I've got all of my Forstner bits there. There's a socket set there, which I don't really use because I'm not very good at fixing cars or anything like that. I have a nice set of expensive calipers, and in there, I believe, yep, some long auger bits. Underneath that, I have all the measuring gauges and tools I use on a relatively regular basis. Over this side I've got all the pens I use most of all, and a few depth gauges as well for bowls. You get the idea. They're all in there. Next one underneath, slightly heavier, more industrial pieces of equipment. Yeah, you'll never see me use this. This is only used inside the house, or if a JCB breaks down outside. Also in here I've got chisels, all the kinds of spanners and wrenches, and a few sharpening blocks as well. Underneath there, this is relatively organised for me. This is where I keep all my tool sets. So all the spanner sets, socket sets, screwdriver sets. I also keep lots of boxes of washers and O-rings and metal straps. You'll even find equipment in here to hang pictures, so it's all in here. Again, when I see a pack of something interesting, I buy it and shove it in here. Eventually, you may find a use for it. Bottom drawer is larger things I can't find home for anywhere else. I've got an awful lot of tools in here, which I'm not currently using. I've got a wonderful set of Record Power chisels, which I bought from Yandles the other day because they're on sale, and I can't wait to start having a go with them. Next to it, top drawer here is tape and stuff like that. Underneath there I have some electrical equipment and soldering stuff. Underneath there I have my CA glues, and these next two drawers are all full of sanding equipment. Just about everything you can ever imagine is in one of these two drawers. Right, and that about sums it up for this side of the room. Oh, sorry, we have the questions first. Right, next question. This is a dangerous activity. Do you ever worry about the dangers despite the best PPE and using sensible precautions? Okay, this is a very good question. Do you ever worry about this? No, I don't worry. I try and keep myself as safe as possible at all times. If I feel, for whatever reason, that the project I'm currently working on, something could go wrong, I will change whatever it is I think can go wrong to mitigate or to minimize the problems that may occur. I don't and never will ever deliberately put myself into harm's way. And I spend money when necessary to buy myself the best quality PPE I can afford. Okay, so that's just about it for the first part of the room. So I'll go through to the next part and have a look what's in there. Oven, microwave, essential for all my cooking needs. That box is, by the way, still got all the little logs I made from the 50,000 subscriber giveaway piece. This cupboard is all full of PPE and gloves and things like that, and this one has lots of odds and ends and tools that I've used in the past and really need to find a better home for. Compressor, which feeds an air line on this side and also over next to the lathe, and in this cupboard is where I keep a lot of tools, my comprehensive stash of isopropyl alcohol, lots of stirring things, lots of colours for resin, and of course down the bottom lots of resins as well. This is also full of things which I've bought to help complete projects in the past. Right, next question is, what cameras do you use and how many? I have each video is generally filmed with 5 cameras. I have 3 iPhone 11s and 2 Google Pixel 6s. They're not the top of the range phones, but the cameras work brilliantly, and I've used those for quite a long while now and have no reason to change. Next question, what programs do you use to edit your videos? I use Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, this is the put things together area of the workshops, probably more the crafting section you could say. I built this workbench before I started turning, probably about 7-8 years ago. It's not brilliant, and it's one thing I would love to work on. I would love to make myself a proper workbench, and I will do at some point, but it's quite a big project and I'm not great at standard woodworking like that, so bear with me if I do have a go. The filming position as usual, so we have a large dedicated swing mounted for cameras, and I also have other camera stands which I bring in here when I'm filming in this area. I only have one dedicated permanent fixture. I use lights from a company called Newer, who I've been using for, well, since I've moved into this workshop. I've spent an absolute fortune on lights, only to find out that they flicker on camera. So now I've found this company and the lights are fantastic, so I'll always buy theirs in future. They're not sponsors of the show, they don't even know I exist, but I do appreciate products that do exactly what they're supposed to do. Right, I'm sorry, I'm blind from looking at the lights. Right, so questions. How do you keep your shop clean? Any particular tools beside brushes, brooms and vacuums? And cloths. Brushes, brooms and vacuums will do the floor all pretty well, but you will find in places like this, all worktops do end up with a dust covering, and rather than brushing it off, I use a damp cloth to wipe everything down. The damp cloth keeps hold of the dust as opposed to putting it into the atmosphere. Also in the workshop I've got two, I'm not sure if you can see it up there, but I've got two air scrubbers as well, which I run all the time, especially when sanding. Next question, what brand is your silicone ring guard? And what do you like about it or dislike? Right, what people are on about is this thing. This is a ring skin, I think it's called. Yes, it is. And I wear it every single time I start turning. And that just helps protect my wedding ring. One thing, one of the fortunate or unfortunate things about YouTube, I'll let you decide, is that if I turn like that, people shout at me. And if I have that over the top, people don't shout at me. So I'll wear that. Okay, we're nearly done. So just this side of the workshop to do, and then into the woodshed. Okay, first machine on this side of the workshop is the Triton bobbin sander. It's a very, very useful piece of equipment. I've got all the different fittings for it, as well as a long one as well. Now I've got this linked up to a permanent shop vac underneath, so when I turn it on, it will automatically start the vacuum as well. So the vacuum doesn't turn off for at least another 3 or 4 seconds after the machine has finished, just to clear any dust away. The reason why I've got it set up like that is because anything I can do to keep down dust from the atmosphere, I will do it. Next one along. Now you won't have seen this yet because I haven't featured yet on any project, but hopefully soon. This is a Bamboo Labs P1S 3D printer. I bought this because I'm dying to try and find a way of using this in with our craft. And I've got a few ideas, but there's a reasonable learning curve with the software that I'm going to be using to create the 3D models. So I have to learn that first. But I have started using it. Very recently I built a helping hand, so next time I do some soldering, I have something to hold the wires for me. I've built a few things for my tool wall and a few of the normal dragons and fidget toys and stuff like that for the family members. Right, we've got some questions on here. What project haven't you completed because it would push your skills to the limit that you would really like to complete? I have so many. A lot of these drawers around the workshop are all packed with things I have bought for specific projects, and all I'm waiting for now is for my brain to figure out how on earth to do them. So I'm not worried about necessarily about having the skill, although I am, I suppose, in some way. I'm more worried about being able to find the right procedure in order to create something. Okay, next one is, where do your ideas come from? Do they arrive in the shower? They have arrived in the shower. They've arrived from just about anywhere. When your brain is relaxed or you're distracted, that is sometimes where your best ideas can come from. It also comes from curiosity. A lot of my projects that I've completed in the past have come from me finding interesting pieces of wood or interesting objects and thinking, how can I use that? How can I utilize that in craft? Probably one of the best examples of that is the next piece of equipment we're going to look at. Right, this is the Creality Falcon 2 Pro 40-watt laser, and it really is quite an amazing piece of equipment. It's given me an extra depth to the things I can do. A question that was previously asked is, where do ideas come from? With a piece of equipment like this, you learn and figure out its capabilities, and you figure out what you can do with those. And I think the first project I managed with this piece was to turn this inlay in this bowl. And without this piece of equipment, at my skill level, this would have taken me about 6 months. So without this wouldn't have been possible. And if it wasn't for seeing this, then I would have never come up with that idea. Time for the woodshed. Okay, welcome to the woodshed. Not a great lot of room in here for filming, but I'll try and get round it as much as I can. I've got my little camera with me, so I'll try and do my best to show you all the poignant pieces with this. Starting on this side, that top row there is all full of yew. Underneath I've got a few odd different pieces. That's a nice big piece of sweet chestnut. Below that we've got some more strange and wonderful things. Carrying on down to the bottom, there's a beautiful big apple burl down at the very bottom as well. This side we've got different types of burls on the top, some more various hardwoods, even some lignum vitae bowling balls, which I really want to do something with at some point. Below that I've got some more pieces of yew, some more cherry, and it goes on. A lot of crotch pieces down the bottom. They're my kind of stocking trade at the moment, so I love to gather as many of those as I can. Going more onto this side, going more onto this side, we've got a lot of laburnum down the bottom. That was all the stack of hardwood which I processed in a video a few months ago. More laburnum and yew, more laburnum and hawthorn and what's that, plum. At the top we've got lignum vitae, we've got more yew, we've got elm, we've got sequoia and all sorts. Along the top we've got lots of different types of planks of maple, walnut and myrtle, I believe. This wall is a bit of a blast from the past. When I first started the channel I was primarily turning blanks like this, just normal set round blanks that you would get from most woodworking shops. Fairly early on I decided to move away from that because I was having a lot more fun turning natural pieces. So as you can see, I've bought an awful lot to use on different occasions, and I'm not quite sure what to do with them. They do come in useful every now and then, but they're basically sat here until I can find a decent project. If you can think of a good idea to use for those, then please let me know. Right, that's about it for the woodshed. Let's go back into the workshop. Okay, that's it for the shop tour. I hope you've enjoyed it. Next thing to do is to hand over to VoiceOver Mike, who will be choosing the winners of these two pieces. But before I hand you over, I would like to say thank you so much indeed for the massive support you've given me over the last 3 years. And hello and welcome. And again, a massive thank you to all the new subscribers we've had recently, and to the 50,000 rest of you who have been following for so long. So thank you very much indeed. Best of luck in the competition, and I'll see you next time. Okay, thanks Mike. This is VoiceOver Mike now, and I'll be taking you through the choosing of the two winners for the two pieces we made for the 50,000 subscriber giveaway and our 3rd year anniversary. Now what I have here is a random picker website. Basically the way it works, as you can see, we've got a list of 3 items there, thing 1, thing 2 and thing 3. And when I click on return, it chooses one from the list every time I click it, and it's reported at the top. So I'm going to replace these 3 with our list of winners taken from the last 21 qualifying videos. And those people are... There we are. Right, going from the top, we've got Vinnie Marshall, Damien Lee, Alison Hess Williams, Wayne Seymour, Rusty Nielsen, Gavin Conway, Spring Bay, Barbara Shelton, Robert Wells, Nigel Scott, Michael Glacken, Pete Twisted Trees, Bev Harrison, Norman Arthur Sands, Kevin Way, JMWZ, James Harper Williams, Alan Cole, Steve Gallagher, Joe Ryback, and Steve. Okay, so they're the 21 finalists. If you're not in that list, I do apologise, but I do wish you very good luck for next time. Okay, so first of all, we're going to choose the winner for the 50,000 subscriber bowl. That's the Padauk bowl with the apple inlay. And the winner is Spring Bay 1. Congratulations, Spring Bay. If you can drop me a line and we will organise delivery to you. Okay, now we'll choose the winner for the 3rd anniversary bowl, and the winner is Vinnie Marshall. Congratulations, Vinnie. You are the winner of our 3rd anniversary bowl. If you can get in touch, this will be sent off to you directly. Anyway, that's it for now. I would like to thank everybody who took part in the competition. I'm sorry not everybody can win, but I'd like to thank you for your support and wish you the very best luck next time. So that's it. Thank you very much indeed, everybody. If the 2 winners can drop me a line, then we'll organise delivery. But apart from that, thank you very much indeed, and we'll see you next time.